Of course, the latest questions about Trump's mental fitness were jump-started by the shocking White House tell-all, Fire and Fury, written by Hollywood journalist Michael Wolff. The question everyone's been asking is, how did Wolff get access to the White House for months? Well, apparently, the president called him in early February to compliment him on a CNN appearance in which Wolff criticized media coverage of the new president. Michael Wolff was on CNN as part of their new all-Wolff lineup. So, yes, over to you, chompers. So, Trump just invites anyone who says anything nice about him to the White House. Who's that Eric kid I saw on Fox and Friends? Get him in here. I want to meet that guy. He seems nice. Now, put a tarp down, though. Put a tarp down here. Once Wolff was in the White House, everybody assumed it was fine to talk to him. In fact, nearly everyone who spoke with Wolff thought someone else in the White House had approved their participation. Why, of course I'll talk to you, Michael. Listen, if we allowed you in here without approval, then we shouldn't be allowed in here. Anyway, are we rolling? Good. He takes a cheeseburger to bed, and I don't think it's consensual. Yeah, write that down. No, you can quote me. But what really sold the administration on the book is the fact that Wolff didn't tell them it would be called Fire and Fury. He told them it would be called The Great Transition, the first 100 days of the Trump administration. And they believed him. So if anyone else wants access to the White House, we've got some book titles you can use to get in. How about Big President Smart Man, The Goodening of the White House from How It Was Bad Before? Or Donald Trump and the Goblet of Absolutely No Collusion. And finally, Donald Trump's Great Bigly Pop-Up Penis Book. Oh, hey, we haven't talked about the Russia investigation for a while. You know who else really doesn't want to talk about Russia? Former chief strategist and lonely hemorrhoid Steve Bannon. Yesterday, Bannon was called before the House Intelligence Committee to testify about the Trump campaign's possible ties to Russia, a meeting which stretched more than 10 hours. If your Bannon lasts more than 10 hours, seek medical help. The interview was so rough, it was described as brutal, a total free-for-all. And as one person put it, Bannon doesn't have any friends in that room. To be fair, Bannon doesn't have friends in any room. Senators were ticked off. They were really miffed because Bannon's attorney told the committee that Bannon wouldn't discuss anything about his time in the White House or during the transition after the 2016 election. Well, what's the point of interviewing Steve Bannon if he won't talk about Trump? Nobody cares what he did before that, which I assume was chasing teenagers through abandoned amusement parks. So, why is Bannon being so tight-lipped? It turns out he was instructed by the White House in advance of the hearing not to respond to certain topics, and that President Trump has invoked broad executive privilege, with Bannon's attorney relaying the questions to the White House in real time and asking whether his client could answer the questions. Well, that sounds perfectly legitimate. No, Your Honor, I did not witness a murder, according to this text I just got from the murderer. He says we can all go home now. We got a great show for you tonight. Ricky Gervais is here, but when we return, porn star Stormy Daniels strikes again. Stick around. Wow, what a cliffhanger. What's gonna happen in the next Late Show video? Click subscribe to find out.